Okay, that was a highly unexpected conclusion to this episode. I never would have thought that something like that would have happened to Kaiser, or even, like, Favreau. Whoa. Just, like, completely, whoa. That had me just shocked, especially with the way the music was done. It made the scene so much better. But it wasn't really just that made the scene so good. It was actually the voice actor of Rita. When she saw what Kaiser did, she just screamed his name. And she was like, no, no, no. And she just gets over him and looking at his wounds. That scene was just... It was one of the best scenes, I think, in terms of just art animation or directing in general. Probably the best scene of the series. It was just that good. Especially just the emotions in it. Because Kaiser is a character we have seen and been with since the beginning of the series. Not just Season 2, but since the beginning. Since Genesis. Since Season 1. We have been with him. We have seen his journey. We have seen his hardships. What he has been through throughout Season 1 and Season 2. What he's accomplished. What he has lost. We have seen everything. And seeing this type of death at the end of the series, you're like, oh my god, like, he's probably gone. And I'm just in utter shock. But I want to leave that there for a moment, okay? I don't want to get too far into that because I will probably not talk about the other stuff of this episode. So I want to take a moment to mourn the loss of the Onyx Knights, okay? These are characters, in all honesty, I didn't really care much for, okay? I didn't care about these characters at all. If you go back last week, I didn't care about them. I don't really care much about the Onyx Knights. However, the way they were displayed throughout this episode, it was truly sad. It was a sad way to see their characters go out because I pity them. We know for a fact that they have put a lot of their time to save everyone from Bahamut, and even though what they've done is despicable, they've done a lot of heinous things, and the king has done a lot of heinous things, we can see that their determination to get something done is actually something that you could kind of praise, just to see how far they're willing to go, and how they're willing to push for what they want, and they will not turn around. It's actually something that you could admire, and in this case, when you see, you know, Azazel and Jeanne d'Arc, you know, going up against the Onyx Knights, you know for a fact that these two are going to win. Like, you know for a fact they're going to win. Especially when you start seeing these, you know, characters, the Onyx Knights, that are basically all unnamed, just, you know, bleeding and all that, coughing up blood, and you see them hitting the floor and all that. You know that their time is coming to an end. They're about to be out of the series. And as you see them fighting, they're doing everything they can. You just feel sorry for them as they're losing limbs, as they're getting beat up, and you're just like, holy crap, this is extremely sad. I mean, they're pushing themselves this far to be able to kind of save everyone in a way. Even though it's despicable, the means of what they've done to get here, it's still just like, you couldn't help but feel sorry for them. So just shout out to those characters. I mean, I didn't really care about them last week or the previous episodes, but after this episode and seeing what they did to try to achieve what they needed to do, I actually just couldn't help but admire them. So with that being said, let's talk about the stuff with Alisand, or however you pronounce his name. I'm not going to say my other, you know, nickname for him, because you know how YouTube is. I think we all know. So anyways, Alisand, if I pronounce his name wrong, I pronounce his name wrong, because it really doesn't matter at the end of days, or at the grand scheme of things, because honestly, he's gone now. But Alisand, he died like he lived. A coward. He died, and he's gone. He's out of the series, which makes me very happy, because his character, after seeing it, I thought he was going to go through some form of redemption, but that was not the case. The first part of this episode, there was actually a lack of dialogue, which was very pleasing in a way, because the way it was directed, it made it to where there was a lot more emotion put into the first segment of the episode. You're like, holy crap, you know, just seeing how this man, how despicable he is and what he'll do to survive. I mean, when he's sitting there on the ground, he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, or whatever. He's on the ground, and he's, you know, like, bowing down before Diaz and all that. Diaz looks at him, and then all of a sudden, grabs out a dagger and goes for him. At first glance, it looks like he might have killed him, but then you get a zoom in, and he grabs the dagger, and he's holding, and you just see the man's face in just utter rage. He's in shock, and he's in rage mode. He just couldn't believe what was happening, how he would strike at him like that when he has been such a good dude to him, like a father figure. It just shows that this man is at the point of no return. And when he starts to run and all that, he just shows his true colors. He's, a coward. And then when he gets into an alleyway and he sees this little demon child just holding a dagger and all that, he's like, it's okay, it's okay. And he's just trying to calm down the child. And at first it looks like, holy crap, he's actually being nice and all that. But then he gets stabbed by a dagger, which is poetic in a way. For the first time, he tried to do something nice, but he was a coward. But he got stabbed because it was already too late. It was poetic justice. It really was poetic in a way, the way he went down, and the way he died like, a worthless death. Because nobody knew he died. Nobody cares that he died. The only people I got to watch his death was Diaz and us, the audience, which, in terms of the actual story, we don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So, in terms of the universe, he died with nobody watching. His death was absolutely pointless, which fits a character like him, since he was the type of character that wanted fame, he wanted to get known and get a lot of money and all of this. He just wanted all this power and stuff and, renown. Well, that's all gone. That's all thrown out the window. With his death, that all ended, because it's not the fact that he died a worthless death. It wasn't dying like an honorable death. He died a worthless death. It meant nothing. And that right there, I think, is very fitting for his character. It's poetic. Very, very poetic. A very good first segment of the episode. Now, let's get into the other stuff of the episode, which is the fighting scenes. So, most of the episode is consisted of just seeing demons and angels up against the Onyx Knights and the golems and stuff. That's basically the meat of the episode, besides, like, the critical plot points. Most of it was, like, filler, just seeing fodder go up against fodder, or, Jeanne d'Arc going up against fodder, or Azazel going up against fodder, or seeing some little snapshots of, Lucifer. He's just sitting there writing and all that. He's reading his book, and then the entire ship gets hit, and you just see it tilting, and he's still reading his book as the pages flip. It's pretty funny. There's some really funny segments throughout the episode, but most of the episode is consisted of fodder fighting fodder, and it really isn't nothing really important whatsoever. It looks good, looked pretty, it was nice, but it was just nothing really important in the grand scheme of things. Now, when we get into the stuff with Rita, so Rita, she basically makes a bridge, a zombie bridge, to get up to where the king is, which is really creepy, but it makes sense, because Rita has done this before in the past, with the pirate stuff in Season 1, so seeing her do something like this, it's not out of the norm. Her controlling zombies and stuff, and sending them her way in some form of crazy antics, it fits Rita's character completely, so I have nothing against that whatsoever. When they finally get up there, though, Kaiser jumps in front of Jeanne d'Arc and Azazel's blows, and he takes the hit. And like I said, he blocked the king from taking the hit. This scene is probably going to upset many, depending on if you understand Kaiser's character or not. If you don't understand his character, you're probably going to be very upset with this episode. You're probably going to be very upset with Kaiser and what he did. In some ways, you should still be upset, even if you understand his character. But what he did makes sense, because it's a character flaw. But like I said, it makes sense because of his character and the flaw he has. Kaiser has always been an honorable knight. Ever since the series began, Genesis, he's always been an honorable knight. He's always did anything for, honor. That's what he's always done. And as we know, even though he knew the king was so despicable and all that, he tried to help out in his own way. And that's the first half of Season 2. And we can see that he's tried to be honorable over and over again throughout the series. And so, him jumping in front of the blow to protect his king, it fits with his status as a knight. I don't agree with his actions. I'm honestly upset with him. But as a character, it makes sense. If you understand Kaiser's character, this doesn't go against his character at all, him jumping in like that. So, I'm fine with it. In terms of writing and what's been established with his character, I have no problem with it. It just is very sad that his honor got him killed in the end. Now, will he come back? Maybe. Maybe. If Rita hasn't brought back Muguro yet, then I just don't think Kaiser is going to be brought back. Now, if Kaiser does get brought back, I feel like something's going to be really wrong with him. He probably won't be like he once was. He'll probably be, like, really zombified. So, I could see something like that happening if he is brought back. In a way, he'll finally be reunited with Rocky, the little hand. I could definitely see something like that, but we'll see where that goes. It's pretty sad, but Bahamut has reawakened, is there in the capital, So what's going to happen next? That's what we need to find out with the finale next week. So I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment in the comments down below if you have any questions. And also thank you so much for, constantly supporting me. And if you want to continue to support me, you can go into the description, click on the Patreon link, and you can donate to me on Patreon. So with that being said, love you all. Please be safe. Chibi out.